for joining. Group session always makes it more interesting. With your, you can say, question answers, discussion, because it's always two-way. Otherwise, it's just, one way, which is just a message. But when we discuss, it has to be two ways. And it is, each other's experience, which makes it more interesting. Now, some of you may have gone through some of these sessions about soul plan or pre-birth planning before. And after I started researching this topic and working a lot with, we'll see the author, Robert Schwartz, I did his, in fact, 2 workshops. I attended those, and the more I know, and as practically I was helping someone else as well, the more interesting this topic becomes. It really gives you a very good path to know yourself, and without worrying about what's happening, how can you still be blissful? How can you still be happy? So you may wonder, I have so many issues in my life, but if you look from this eye, from this perspective, doesn't matter what you are going through, you know why. And once you know why, and for a good reason, then even what seems bad is not that bad. It looks good now, because now you know the purpose, you know why it is happening in your life. So I'll start sharing my screen, and we'll go through that. And we'll do this step by step, because this cannot be digested in one shot. It's a topic which needs to be understood. So we will get into soul plan. It has part of pre-birth planning, so it's all combined in one big umbrella. And the work here that we will be going over is from the author, Robert Schwartz, or Rob. And he does this in between life, sessions or pre-birth planning and different kind of workshops or events he does. So he's a great person and a great human being, knowing him. In fact, he will be also giving a talk this coming Saturday, actually, in India time, 9 p.m. on Saturday. And so we will have, but that's a PMC Gujarat channel. And I will be moderating that session with him. So that will be another excellent opportunity. If someone else wants to connect, that is another chance to talk about or know about this topic directly from him. So let's talk about first, when we talk of healing, what's the goal and the reward? Because healing is one thing which may mean, different thing to different people. So it is not something that, to be found in peak moments. Like, sometimes you say, wow, today my day is great, or the best day, or, this is the peak of whatever your performance, whether it's your sports career, whatever. So that's not what it means. And, this is something that you want to be attaining, as a natural state of joyfulness, state of that you are always enthusiastic about your life, and not in a moment, but every day. So it cannot be just a limited period of time that you are very happy, joyful, and then you are back to normal, sad, depressed, and all those. Then it is not true healing. So if you look back and you cannot think that when was the last time I feel depressed, when was the last time I was really sad, that means true healing has taken place. Because you can't even recall when was the last time, that means it was a long time back. So as you learn and we grow, so what happens? We are working with our frequency, our energy, right? We talk about physical body, we talk about energy body. So energy body means you're talking in terms of energy. Energy, you can say wavelength, frequency, whichever way, everything. In a way, we are talking about energy. So when we are working with our frequency or energy, we are changing the low level emotions to elevated emotions. So typically, like a kama, krodha, moha, maya, all kind of guilt, shame, pain, trauma, the low level frequencies, you are changing it. You are taking yourself from that to divine, the oneness feeling, abundantness feeling, the feeling where you are connected, not drifting away from people. Now you are getting closer to your soul. So as you allow kind of communication, two-way communication, you and your soul, now more and more joy, the more and more love, oneness, all these emotions will build inside you. And that will be the starting point of your true healing, because then it will become a permanent thing. But the moment you are switching from this zone to that, that is the time you know your healing has started. Doesn't matter what the issue is. Absolutely. Whatever situation you are going through, it really doesn't matter. You will see that you will be able to live peacefully and live with true healing. So if we talk about suffering, because it is something that we say we don't want, right? Because you want, like if we go a step back, like we were talking about true healing. Healing means we talked about divinity, love, emotion. So when we are talking about suffering, here what we are saying is that something, the moment you take the word suffering, we feel that this is something going wrong in our life. But unfortunately, if you really see, our most of the learning comes through suffering. So if you want to move beyond the learning through suffering, then you need to understand and make use of this wisdom on daily basis, in the sense, if you understand what is happening and why, then you will not have problem. And this is one thing which is so important. So the moment you understand this concept, you will understand why whatever is happening, why it's happening. And you will stop this whole phenomena of learning through suffering over and over. Now, what does over and over means? We say you learn through suffering. Okay, agreed. But what happens? How does the universe is talking to us? Universe cannot talk in our language. Universe doesn't know Hindi, English, Punjabi, German, French, whatever language. Universe talks in the language of energy, in the language of communicating through some images, some experience, things like that. So what will happen? Universe will create some situation where we go through certain, you may call it suffering, and we get an opportunity to learn. But suppose you are not aware of it. You are not aware of all these topics, and you may not recognize that this is actually my point of learning. So next time, again, you will have something in your life which will force you to learn. Same thing which you did fail in the first time. But now it will be a little stronger. That means little more suffering than the previous one. Because now universe is trying to tell you, hey, I told you last time, you didn't listen to me. Okay, now at least you listen. And sometimes we ignore. So things keep happening with a higher intensity. But if you are aware of these topics, if you're aware of how this whole phenomena is working, you will recognize it just like that in the very first instant. And the moment you recognize it and you work on it, now you have avoided all the suffering which would have come if you would have not recognized and you would have not worked on it. So that's what we mean, that you don't want over and over. Now, how to acknowledge, how to judge, how to be sure that you have learned. And one very good way is, it's not that after learning and everything will go as per your wish. Everything will be all good by our definition. No. Soul has to experience. So in your life, good and bad, both things will happen, because this is our definition, good and bad. Soul does not say what is good, what is bad. For soul, it is just experience of emotions. And soul has to experience both. So if something happens in your life and you don't feel negative, but you can act on it, you can learn from it. Now you know you are mastering this art. You are working with the universe. You are getting connected to your soul. And that's a big victory. This is very big victory. So what's our aim? The soul may be working on a couple of emotions, but one primary aim for all the souls is to increase self-love. Be emotional independence. That means how to achieve emotional independence. You're looking to oneself, yourself as a primary source of one's well-being. You are, in other simple words, you can be emotionally independent if you know that the way we define good or bad or happy and sad, we ourselves are responsible for it. That means only me. I cannot blame anyone else. I cannot say I got late because, the traffic, the weather, my neighbor, my colleague, whatever. No, everything is in my hand. Now you are getting or achieving what we call emotional independence. This is the first major target. Improve your self-love. And if you can achieve emotional independence, now you're laughing, because now it does not matter what happens in your life. You will identify quickly that, okay, this is happening because maybe my soul wants to learn this. And that's excellent. Now, we must understand what is false belief, because once these very critical concepts are clear to you, it will become very easy to understand the whole story as we go step by step. And once this whole story is clear, the phenomena is clear, it will be so easy for you to analyze your life, and you will know, okay, this is what my soul plan is, or this is the reason why this thing is happening for your benefit. So what is false belief? Most of us, either sometime or the other in our life, or sometime whole life, or most of the life, we feel we are powerless. We feel we don't have anything under our control. We play the victimized role, that, oh, what can I do? Again, we blame it on weather, traffic. We say my boss is such, or we will say my neighbor is such, or, I'm in a family where this thing happened. We feel we are powerless. Our soul is seeking to heal false belief, and false belief could be different kinds. It could be lack of self-respect, self-esteem, your confidence related to, it could be any of those, what we say, kama, krodha, moha, maya. It could be coming from anything. And, you are kind of putting yourself down. You are saying that I cannot achieve this, I cannot do this. The more we keep saying I cannot, that means you are living in your false belief. And the more you live in your false belief, the more problematic it becomes in terms of achieving something, because what will happen is you are always thinking that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. So we have to come out of this false belief. Now, if we wish to create, a world free of trauma, so we must understand that why this pre-birth planning takes place. What is the motivation? And the soul does it. No one else tells you what to do. The soul decides, okay, this will be my path. This is what I want to experience. No one else is telling. They are helping, but decision is of the soul. So when you look at the motivation and you understand how this process works, you will be able to understand, you will be able to use that for healing. Because ultimately our aim is to heal. So all the false belief, that means all the negativity, all the negative thoughts, which is limiting us, which is putting brakes kind of on your path of wisdom gaining and all that thing. We have to overcome those false beliefs. So rather than saying, I cannot do this, I will never be successful, we go to the other side and we understand that I have unlimited capacity. Aham Brahmasmi. I'm part of the universe. There is nothing that I cannot do because I have the same kind of energy, same kind of powers. I have to just recognize it, know how to use it, and use it. So next, if we say, the heart is very special. Sometimes, we say, oh, brain is, physically is right on the top. We think brain is the boss. Again, it's not a question of who's the boss, who's bigger or, more powerful. No, heart has a very special role. Heart has a very special place. It has a higher form of knowing than the mind. Mind is analytical. Heart can sense things. Heart has emotion. You may say 2 + 2 = 4, but heart may say no, 2 + 2 = 3. Because heart is not analytical. It's not calculating or logic. No, heart has no logic. So heart means emotion, means, of course, emotions are coming from feelings. So when we talk of heart, you have to trust. You have to believe in your heart. People say love is blind. Why? Love is coming from heart. Love doesn't come from the brain. Brain may give you logic. Okay, you should like this, not like it. Heart will just say, if you like something, you like something. So it is very important that we have connection to our heart. Of course, the moment your heart and brain are connected, what we call heart and brain coherence, it takes you to a totally different level. So first, individually, we talk of two things, the heart separate, the brain separate. And then once you do the coherence, that means there's a highway of energy between heart and brain, boom, now your body is at a different level. So trust your heart. You should know how to fill your heart with gratitude, with elevated emotions. When you do meditation, you can try time and again this. The more you do this, the more you play, get in touch with your heart, the more you will see the magic, the speed is increasing. Now let's talk of Akashic Records. Now, some of you may have come across Akashic Records. There are different people in the world who can read Akashic Record for you. You go to them and you work with them and they can read and they can tell you, okay, this is what it is. They can tell you your soul plan, pre-birth planning, a lot of details. Because Akashic Records means everything about you. Better than Google. It has not just about this, but it knows about your previous lives. Complete database. But it is not in a physical realm, it is in the non-physical realm. That means it's out there in the universe, energy form. It has all your pre-birth planning details. Suppose you know that, now you will understand. You must be wondering, why would I plan my life if you call that a pain or misery? Suppose a lot of suffering is taking place, and you may wonder, if someone says that every soul plans it, why in the world I will plan so much suffering? But if you know your Akashic record, you will understand, okay, event by event or emotion by emotion or action or whatever is happening, you will understand why was such things planned in your life. And everything come back to soul wants to go to the next higher level. For that, soul has to experience emotion. That is the bottom line. Just like we go to school or university, you go year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, you graduate, you feel good, you have made the progress. Similarly, soul has to make progress. And you will understand why soul has planned such thing. Because when things are good, you don't question. At that time, sometimes we feel, oh, I am driving it. I am the one because of which everything is going good. But when things go wrong, we look up to the sky and say, hey, God, where are you? Why are you doing this to me? So when thing doesn't go as per your wish, we look to someone else for help. But when things are going good, we think it is us who's to make it happen. So what happens is, once you do and once you understand, okay, this is the reason such things were planned, it will take you to the right direction. You understand why it is happening. It will help you in moving towards that direction. Now, sometime as we are going along this, you may wonder that if that is so, then why don't we take birth with complete knowledge of our soul plan, pre-birth planning, Akashic record? Why we don't have access to it? Well, it's like if you go for an exam and if your teacher says it's an open book exam, most of the students may not study at all. They will say, oh, it's open book. All I have to know is how to use the book. I should know where the my reference is at the back or the index, or once I know what is where, I can look for that topic and I can answer all the questions. I will ace the test. But that's not the point. You didn't learn anything. So similarly, if you know all these details of pre-birth planning and whatnot, and you have come to learn emotion number 1, number 2, and maybe another one, number 3. Mostly soul is learning one emotion only in one life, or 2 maybe. Very brave soul, you may pick 3. But once you know, okay, these are my 1, 2, or 3, you will try to finish them ASAP, quickly. But that's not the point. It's not a checklist contest. It is to learn. And the beauty is in the surprise. So there are different terms we will see in this, number of weeks when we go through this topic. We may call people like medium or channel, spirit guide, past life regression. So medium, channel, these are all individuals who have the power to, look into your soul plan, look into the Akashic record, talk to the spirit world and all that thing. Spirit guides are the people, because when you were doing your pre-birth planning, there is a soul family. There are elders who are basically helping you in preparing your soul plan. So for soul, there is no such thing as higher, lower, good, bad, positive, negative. These are humans have made this. Based on anything goes to our wish, we say good, higher, positive. Anything that is going against our wish, we say lower, or we say it's bad, I'm having a tough time, or we look at it as a negative thing. For soul is just an experience. Whether you are a beggar receiving money or you are a king donating money, it's experience of donating money, experience of receiving money. For soul doesn't matter. In physical world, in our human form, we say king means good, beggar means something bad. But we are all being of light. We are form of energy. Soul and human form, they are not one-on-one. That means the age in human form does not relate to the age of a soul. It's not necessary that if you have a, say, mother and a child, that mother is a matured soul and child is a infant soul. No, it may be the other way around. So the age in terms of human world is not related to age in terms of soul world. So when we do meditation, we are dissolving our ego. Remember, you may have experienced or you may have heard that we say, okay, when you're getting into meditation, you may think or you may tell yourself that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. What are you saying? That I'm going away, I'm not stuck with my physical nature. I'm getting attached to my energy form. Getting away from your ego, who you are, what you possess, whether you're an owner, you're a business person, or whatever you have, or your home or car, it's all in the physical world. That's part of your ego. Once ego is taken away, you get into your real energy world, then you are just awareness, you are just consciousness, just form of energy. And that is the real truth, because that goes from incarnation to incarnation. The physical body starts in this life, ends in this life. Now, what is part of the soul plan is that soul is trying to learn some emotions, and we are trying to eradicate the fears, the bias, the judgmental nature, the ego, because these are low-level emotions, low-level energy, which comes as anchor, as a problem in your learning. Because universe means unconditional love, compassion. So you have to overcome your fear, your biasness, judgmental nature, your ego, because that is a very typical in human form. You have to cross this, river flowing full flow. You have to cross from fear to fearless. You have to do this journey. Overcome your ego, overcome the whole, me, or this I factor, what we end up as a human form, we end up having it. Accept all your shortcomings. And yes, be proud of your strengths. Accept all the emotions, accept all what is happening. Enjoy all kind of experiences. Don't say this is positive, I will enjoy, this is negative, or this is sad, this is depression, how can I enjoy it? Well, your soul has planned. Soul has to experience. If you deny it, it will come back again. If you don't finish your job in this incarnation, you may have to repeat it next time. And yes, it is true. If you don't finish it, it will come back to you. However, there is a concept of free will. Now, what does this mean? So free will concept is a beautiful concept, because soul plan or pre-birth planning means you have planned everything in your life. You have picked who will be my parents, who will be my siblings, who will be my, my spouse, my neighbors, my this and that. You have planned everything. But it's not necessary that it has to go in a straight line. You have planned certain challenges. You have planned certain learning in your life as a pre-birth planning. But that does not mean it must happen that way only. Why? Because certain things you may have planned that, okay, I will learn when I am 10 years old, I will learn this. When I'm, say, 20 years, I will learn that. You learned something at 10, what you had planned, great, everything is going as per plan. But what you wanted to learn at the age 20, you may learn at 18. Now you have already learned. Why would you wait another 2 years? So free will means plan B, your backup plan. That if this either happens before or does not happen, then what you're going to do. So every event has multiple options. So this process flow is very complex. Your life is planned beautifully. It's not that if one thing does not happen, you will be stuck. What next? No, there is a backup to backup plan. So that means you can opt that, okay, you changed your course. You are going from A to B to C to D, but free will means you come A to B, fine, but now you're not going to C, you're going to E. That option is there. So don't think everything is a straight line. It has to happen that way. No. So there are so many possibilities within your life. So don't think you are stuck in this life. You can overcome any challenges. Don't feel suffocated. Don't feel you're stuck with the negative situation and all thoughts, emotions, feeling, everything is negative because you think I'm stuck. I cannot go anywhere from you. You can still heal. You can still transform yourself. You have a free will means there are option A, B, C, D. See, they are there to help you. They are there to reach your target. They are not there to punish you. It's not there to hurt you. It's not there to kill you. It's only there to make you go towards your final destination, to make you stronger. To reach the final destination, to make you stronger, we plan certain challenges. As we said, most of the learning comes from suffering. That's why we call them challenges, because they run counter to your hope and expectation. So spirituality is not a question of, escaping or rising above the human emotions. But being human, acknowledging those human values, connecting not just within us, but with others also. Coming more closer to oneness, compassion, you're not thinking like, just selfishness, me, I get everything. No, sharing, caring, all those beautiful emotions that humans are attached with. So this you have to understand with your heart, not the head. Head is analytical. So you have to stay grounded, true to yourself. The moment you let the ego make all the decisions and, decide your path, now you are drifting away from your learning, because you're drifting away from the basic human characteristics. Now, what happens is, if you already are in a very, say, challenging situation, you are in a either mental, physical, emotional, in some situation, you may feel like, totally drained. You may feel that you have lost the battle. You feel upset, depressed, whatever. You think you have no power, you cannot change. If you are feeling like that, you must realize that it is the fear inside you. It is, becoming the anchor and draining you, which is talking to you. Again, I am Brahmasmi. You are having all the powers in the world which universe has. Just overcome this fear, overcome this low level emotions and energy. Nothing in spiritual world, in the soul plan wise, is hopeless. No, whatever situation you may be in is for a reason, for a learning. You plan those challenges, no one else. So if you have a challenge, that means you are working on some emotion, some fear, some low level energy that you are overcoming. That means it is inside you. The moment you acknowledge, the moment you understand, identify, just hug your fear. Don't run away from it. Like a small child. Sometime, as an adult, you may go in the room. If it's a dark room, doesn't matter. You can walk and turn on the light. But a child may, be very fearful entering a dark room. So all you need to do is just hug this child that, hey, don't worry. It's okay. Because the purpose of every challenge is to heal your inner child. It is designed for some particular part of that big pie. You are not fixing everything at once. So you take chunk by chunk. So you have planned these challenges. Yes, emotionally, it could be very draining. You may feel frightened and, all those kind of things, which is very usual. And you are trying to truly heal your soul. That means your true inner self. So when you're aware, when you know those things, it will bring out your strength rather than weaknesses. It will really wake you up. You will understand your power. You will understand. The more you overcome topic by topic, the more and more powerful you will feel. That yes, I can do it. Yes, I have done it. And with every success, your soul will be happy that yes, I have learned this emotion. And then it does not matter what situation you are in, whatever pain or suffering you may think, but this blissfulness that yes, you are able to overcome step by step, will take you to a totally different level. So this is something you have to really understand. Challenges does not mean bad thing. Challenges, they are the most valuable teachers for you, because every challenge is teaching you something. And this is a mindset shift that you have to make. Don't look at each and every challenge as a problem in life. Take it as an opportunity. Take it as a teacher for you that you have planned for your betterment. So you may thank your soul that you put me through these. Yes, there will be some positive. That means you will enjoy those emotions experience, but there will be a lot which we call suffering you may not like. But fill your heart with gratitude that you have understood the meaning of this particular life challenge, not like a general thing. One by one, decode it, understand what it is trying to teach you. Once you understand, boom, say thank you, universe. I have understood. Even if it is tough situation or whatever, I take it gracefully. And then you see your life will totally transform. It will give you peace, inner peace. And not only you, people around you. Some other people may be going through the same emotions, same experience. Even if it is not same, The process is same. So in all this process, you are making your heart connect to your brain more powerfully. It's like a highway of energy. And then this is what you want: the brain and heart, the whole body coherence, and understanding every challenge, taking it as an opportunity, a situation, as a teacher, and you start enjoying your life. Now your consciousness has gone into a different level. You will keep fulfilling your soul's requirement for learning. Step by step, your soul will keep going higher and higher and higher. So masters, we will continue this journey next Wednesday. It may be a lot for some of you to digest. That's why we'll go step by step. We keep repeating some of the key points. Next week, we will repeat some of the key items. We will recap and then continue. Because once you understand, there will be no more, the suffering or problems, negativity in your life. You will be able to see positivity in any of the worst situation, what we say as a human being, that, oh, tough life, this life, that life. And then you will understand why it is happening. You will enjoy more, because then you are helping your soul learn better and better. And in that process, you will stay blissful, healthy, and happy. So thanks, masters. If anyone has any question on what we covered today, please feel free to ask. The more clear you are, the more benefit you can take.
I have a comment to make.
Sure.
Okay, so the last concept that you introduced is the most wonderful thing that had happened to me. I understood it a little better earlier in my life. And I have applied that principle to my work. And it works beautifully, because anytime I'm thrown a curveball, I take it as an opportunity, learn it, and progress. So I think in every walk of life, you can apply what you just said and do very well in life in every angle when you see your life in different phases. Just a comment.
Thank you very much, Veena-ji, and that's excellent sharing, and it will certainly help others. As we were talking about that, when things are good, we don't worry. But if you can make the other side also good, that means your whole life is fun. Because not only when things are good, you're obviously enjoying, but when things are tough, you can see good in it. That means your whole life is good. So thanks for sharing, Veena-ji.
Divine morning, everybody. Sir, I want to ask you about the fully evolved souls. Do such souls take birth just to help others? Because there are many such souls around us who we see that they don't face any type of difficulties in any aspects of life. Like we can name a few of them, like Mukesh Ambani, Mr. Ratan Tata, and such many souls. So is it that they just come here to help others?
See, at least one of them I know personally. So I'm really not sure why you are saying that they don't feel pain, or they don't have issues in their life. Because before coming to Canada, I was in Tata. So I know at least sometime from a distance, you may feel this person has no issue in life, but that may or may not be the case. May not be, because again, every soul is trying to learn something in this incarnation, something. That means you, and we will see in the next sessions when we will talk of karmas and balancing the karmas, that you will have to experience both, right? Sometimes we see what we want to see. So when we look at others, we always see only, say, for example, the positive thing, the fun part, the good part, but we don't know what pain the person is having inside. So it is possible. However, let's say there is a person, right? There are divine people around us whose life we will say is perfect. So in other words, what we are telling to ourselves is that there is a way that we can make our life perfect. And that way is exactly what we were talking, and Veena ji just shared that when the things are not going as per your plan, if you can identify what is the opportunity in it, what thing our soul is trying to learn and enjoy it, then whole life you are enjoying.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the beautiful explanation. Thank you.
Very welcome, Jagdiji, and thanks for asking, because this interaction is very, very more important than the message, because that's when real fun starts. So thanks again for interacting.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. My pleasure.
Nice to see you, Gaurav sir, again. Thank you for a beautiful session. So, in my view, the beggar can be more happier than Anil Ambani or Ratan Tata. It depends, right? I think that's what we should look at. We shouldn't look at a wealthy person or a very successful person, so-called our way of defining success, which is always ill-defined. So we shouldn't feel, great about the people in positions or people like having a lot of wealth and see them as Gaurav sir said, no pain, no nothing. That's only perception, I believe. Another thing I want to share is once I started, understanding the soul plan and all, not only I feel bliss, but anything that happens around me to the people. So I take it in strides and I don't feel anything, any bad or negative emotions about it, whether what kind of experience it is. So that's what I would like to share.
So thank you very much. First of all, Raviji, I see you in a different avatar now. So I don't know.
Experience.
Changes life.
Right.
So no, absolutely right. It is as a human, we say good or bad, or we say king is good, beggar is bad, but for soul, it is just an experience. Doesn't matter what you are experiencing. So yes, as a human, as a society rules, we call certain things as a good, certain things as a bad, but for soul, it does not matter. So that way you are absolutely right.
Gaurav sir, good evening. Srini here.
Namaskar, Sriniji.
I just want to add my learning and understanding so far on evolved soul. Evolved soul is, in the soul progression, evolved soul is just one step below the divine soul. They live with the human beings, but they exhibit all kinds of divinity. But I slightly differ with Jagruti ma'am, the examples what she has quoted. They're not at all by evolved souls, maybe Ratan Tata, but an evolved soul is like Shirdi Sai Baba or some other people who lives with us and exhibit all kinds of divinities, divine things, so that more and more people will get benefited when they're in distress and other things. So that's what my understanding so far.
And thanks, Shinji, again for sharing. And absolutely. And this is what we expect from the divine soul, to show path to others, to help in terms of spirituality or bringing more and more people, into that path. And again, as we say, Aham Brahmasmi. So, dear masters, each one of you have the same part of the universe. Yes, it's a matter of working towards it, understanding and getting there. And that's what this whole life journey is, that how can we, evolve ourselves to the next level. That is the most important thing. So thanks for sharing, Sriniji. And Parmeshwaran sir, I know you had hand raised. I'm not sure if you were.
Yeah, I think yes. Ramakrishna sir, please go ahead. Meanwhile.
Okay, sir, I have a question. I have been questioning the different scenarios in my, in my life, the relatives, the friends around, what is happening, such as sick people, the bedridden people, they exist, lack of money, lack of employment, all these things. I can clearly see that they are going through a suffering and a pain, right? So now what you are saying is, okay, now after coming to this meditation course, I have learned that, okay, there is a soul planning, and you created your plan, you created your experience, or at least you planned for your experiences to go through in this lifetime. Okay, now without realizing, without knowing that, every one of us are, going through that the process. Now you are saying that, okay, now, hey, this is what I have realized, then let me enjoy. In the today's circumstances, let me give you an example. Today, many people are waiting in Poland to get a flight to India, and they don't know when are they going to get the flight. Now, if you decide, if you come to a realization that, hey, I have planned for this experience, so let me not worry about it. Suddenly, all of your suffering is gone. And the same analogy is applicable to those people who are bedridden and waiting for their D-Day. Okay, so all of these situations, right? Your whole experience of what you are supposed to get out of that one particular situation has vanishes after you come to a realization. So does it mean that you have met your soul plan, or you have not met your soul plan? That is my question. Thank you.
So Ramakrishna sir, this is a great question. So couple of things, but I will stick to the main question what you have, which is whether you have met your soul plan or not. If you just, in a way, your question seems like if you just overcome your fear. So overcoming fear is a part of it. However, what we are clarifying here is, if you understand the process and if you can understand what is your soul plan, that means if you know that, okay, this is the emotion or this is the experience my soul had really planned for me. Once you have that realization, it works beautifully, because then it can really heal you from inside. It can take away any challenges, whether mental, physical, emotional, whatever you may have. For sure, the moment you realize and you overcome this fear or other low-level emotions, then your first part, what you said, is absolutely true. For example, if you may be in a situation stuck, like you mentioned about Europe, right, what they're going through. Yes, you may not feel at all painful, right? You may be a bedridden person. Once you have understood this and you understand why it is happening, it is teaching me this, and this is the reason, or those dots you can connect, then you will not suffer. Yes, you will have that medical situation, that is not gone, but with your understanding, that journey's pain has gone. You will be able to carry out that situation blissfully and learn from it, or whatever that healing has to be done. You have to certainly overcome those steps. So that is the main thing, understanding and then overcoming, not just blanket overcoming of fear that whatever happens, let it be. It does not mean that you give up your effort and say, if I have planned something and that's what will happen, then why should I worry about future? No, it does not mean that. But hopefully by, at least 4 or 5 sessions, when we cover all the main topics, it will become very easy how to have a very good idea about your soul plan. And once you understand that you may have a great control of yourself over your emotions.
Another point I wanted to make is over the sessions, right? I am hoping to get that, we will be able to tie our life events into a soul plan and see the bigger picture behind it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. So if you stay tuned, and there will be some homeworks coming, and if you do that, you will be able to, because that's what I did. I mentioned I have attended his both means 2 workshops, but still my biggest question was, okay, without workshop, without this, how can I and simplify that? So that's exactly what I'll be sharing with you, that you yourself, how can you not only understand, but your I'm not saying day to day, but say year by year, whatever is happening, you can start understanding how to live with your life, how to live with the events, whatever is happening.
Thank you.
Very
Madhu
welcome,
sir.
Ramakrishna.
Madhu sir, please go ahead.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Thank you for the session today. Actually, I have a question about, like, you talked about, like, the embracing, like, the situation, any kind of situation you are going through, like, the situation is like a child, like, you need to, take it, like, good care of that, actually. But sometimes, like, it becomes, very hard, like, you're going through so much, actually, like, so much pain and that thing. So it becomes so hard to embrace that, right? Like, you try to push it away, actually. So how can we gain, that kind of capacity to, like, embrace, and take care of that pain and suffering, like, that way, it will not bother us anymore, actually. So
See, I can only share my own experience, and I can tell you one thing: the bigger the problem is, the easier it to deal with it. Now, this may be opposite of what you may be expecting, but actually it is true. If the problem is so big that you have no option left, sometimes it is easier to slow down, surrender, and listen and do something. When you are in the middle, we may be yes and no, flip-flopping and a lot of things. So it all depends on individual. It's not always a must. It all depends on, but as a normal human being, if we come across a huge problem, it's just like, you are going on a highway. There is a major accident. All the lanes are blocked. You have no other option than to stop.
yeah, right.
The whole traffic is stopped. And that's what
Yeah.
universe does. And you will learn in the sessions to come that how universe does it. And like we talked today, if you recognize the first indication from the universe, which will be a smaller one, great. Learn from it, improve whatever it's kind of indicating to you. Sometimes doesn't happen because it's not easy. It's never taught in school, university, college, nowhere, neither at home.
Yeah.
We don't know these concepts, but they are so beautiful. And it's not something new. In our Shastra and everything, it is written 5,000 years ago. So the point is, universe will keep increasing the intensity to make you listen. And if you do not listen out of ignorance or out of you don't know what you don't know, then there will be a time when the intensity will be so big that it will say, okay, now you have to stop, buddy.
Yeah.
So that is the kind of difference that, but once you understand, it will become very easy. You will not let it go to that big level, and you will understand and, keep taking those things.
Sometimes, like, if the mind is in charge of this thing, and trying to make it bigger than what it is, like, the actual situation.
Yes, and for that, again, once you do these process once, it becomes a little easy, because you have to at least get first big victory. And that's what was the case with me. And after first, it was you listen to others' experience, but when the miracle happens in your life, then you don't need to have any more examples or something. It works, and then you go with full faith and surrender. And then there is no coming back, no returning, no doubt, no nothing. And that's the stage you have to be, one way or the other. You can achieve that state without getting into any situation and make your life blissful. Possible. But generally, we wait for a major event or disaster or some tragedy. And then, so everybody's life is different. Point is same. If you understand the concept, learn from it, and then we can make our life absolutely blissful.
So you say the surrender and acceptance are like the great the bigger qualities to overcome these kind of things.
Surrender means surrender to the universe, surrender to this whole process. Like we say in meditation, you have some doubts about meditation, ask, clarify, no problem. But once you have understood, listen, you cannot keep doubting. Anything you keep doubting, you cannot achieve that, because one side you are telling energy message that, okay, I want to learn, I want to achieve. But the second side, you are saying, no, I don't believe it will happen. So positive and negative will neutralize, and you may never achieve any success. And you may wonder why I'm not getting success, because you have a doubt. You have to surrender means, okay, now I trust it will happen, and let the universe decide when is the right time to happen. It will happen.
So I think the patience is the virtue, actually. So I guess so.
Yes.
Okay. So Ravi here, sir. I want to respond to Ramakrishna sir's question about sick family members. So I want to share my example. My father has been bedridden for almost a year. He doesn't have any motor skills. He cannot walk by himself. He cannot do any activities by himself. We need 7/24 support. So now, after I came to understanding of this pre-birth planning and soul plan, so I accepted that he is going through that kind of a pain and he has to deal with it. So I don't worry about on a day-to-day basis. I got to do as a son whatever the obligation I have in terms of supporting my mother and my father. It doesn't bother me on a day-to-day basis. Most of the people call me and say, "Whoa, bad, he's in that situation." I would say, yeah, that's fine. He's going through it. He has to deal with it. So that's my response. So that's my live example. But in any situation, I think once you understand the pre-birth planning and soul plan and all, you should be able to take on anything that comes tomorrow. You don't need to worry about it. When it comes, good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, you need to accept that as part of the plan and experience and move on. So I would love to, I thought that would be a good example to share.
Thank you, Raviji, for sharing such beautiful example.
Veena ma'am, please go ahead. Veena ma'am, you raised your hand.
Hi, hello, namaskaram. So I just want to share an experience. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So in 2016, my legs stopped working and I could not walk. And I was devastated because I'm a Bharatanatyam dance teacher. And I was shocked that I was going through such a pain, and decided, this is an opportunity to learn. Started doing yoga. I'm halfway through my certification as a yoga teacher now. My body is completely flexible and I can dance again. So every situation that happens to you, take advantage of it, complete advantage. I have another example to share. At work, I was penalized for no reason, and everybody went against me in a particular situation. And I took that opportunity to leave that environment and move on. And today I have had a great, a best experience of thanking all those people who were so mean to me, because I have been promoted. I'm doing very well in work, and I'm really thankful to them from my heart, because if they had not created that toxic environment, I would have never come out of that small pond. And now I'm so happy. I'm very happy and I'm very thankful to them, and I've told them so. So, you should take advantage of anything toxic that's happening to you, turn it around and make it very positive.
Thank you very much, Veena ma'am, for sharing. Excellent.
Great, ma'am. Rajani, ma'am. Rajani, ma'am, please go ahead.
Parmeshwaran sir, please talk.
Parmeshwaran sir, please go ahead.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaskar, sir. Kaise hain? How are you?
Wonderful, sir. I just want to listen you after a long time. So wonderful, as usual. And I would like to share with our viewers here, all participants, other friends. Somebody was asking about, I think, Jagrati, comparing Ambani, etc., other people. My understanding is Gaurav Paliwal is, if you take a poll, the richest person in the world like that, the purest soul like that, then elevation, I would say Paliwal is on the top rather than people like
No,
that.
sir, I'm very small.
For me, yes, it's my feeling that I'm expressing. So like that, many sitting here, maybe better. You, of course, you answered that point. Money is not the criteria or helping externally, and their internal suffering we may not know. So as he rightly said, most of us would have gone through some ordeal or another. So me also, 25 years back, I quit the job because of mental suffering, and today that's why we are all together here to work out our soul plan, helping each other in many ways. But we may not know, but some may know something at least. That's the only difference. And another thing is, now let us just now you are telling about the choice and what happens. Even what he just spoke, Garo, is exactly what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita also. You have a free will. So first you can make a choice, like whether to go on the right side or on the left side. But once you have decided to go on the right side, then no more choice, right? You have to accept, surrender to that. Then only people can really progress. So people get stuck only because of this half-learned, go here and keep on, doubting Thomases. So we have to trust the universe. That means trusting ourselves, trusting God or whatever it is. Just trust, self-trust. Then take the path. Acceptance is the key, responding to the situation. So when we go like that, that is what most of us are experiencing. That is why we are joyfully talking here, sitting in this forum night. And Gaurav's maybe less than 10 years is the transformation. Then you can think of people who are suffering, who maybe Pandits who would have learned many things, but still suffering mentally. So when we meet them personally, then only we know. So my friends, please just surrender to the situation, have trust in yourself, and listen carefully to people like Gaurav, who have gone through that, and they have taken so much pains to guide us properly, so that scientifically today the logical mind will not accept so easily. For me, I never bothered. I just listen. Yes, what I can do, I just do it without fear or favor. So I'm happy today. In the last 25 years, a lot of things have changed, and last 5-6 years, I'm living a wonderful life. Though, like others, I do have challenges. Even today, I have, but that's not bothering my day-to-day life and my soul plan. Also, I'm hopeful that it's going as per the plan. So thank you very much, Paliwal sir. Once again, we will meet again next week, and wish everyone all the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Parvishwan, sir. Thank you for your such a nice wisdom words.
I just want to add one thing. When we say surrender, you cannot have a desired outcome when you surrender. Surrender means you're okay with anything. So even I tried in my personal way, personal experience, I have also tried, okay, today I'm surrendering. Maybe things will turn around, but that's not working. When you surrender, really surrender, you feel like laughing. Like when you surrender, surrender happens only when you accept that you are not this body, you're not the mind. There is bigger things. If you wish things to happen, that's not surrender. That's what I wanted to highlight.
Rajni ma'am.
That's all, right? Surrender to yourself means accepting everything is surrender. That's all, ultimately. It's not falling on somebody's feet. Doesn't mean that no more wishes. Right, sir? You can elaborate.
If you
No.
think if you want this to happen and you are calling, I am surrendering, that's not surrender. You are surrendering to the universe means whatever it is, I am fine. I will be fine. We came with nothing. You will leave with nothing. What worse will happen? So the one coach shared, she recovered from the legs. She healed herself. So if something happens, sit and meditate. If you're on bed and lay down and meditate. You will be fine. And at the end you will leave. So that's my understanding of surrender.
And
I don't want to give wrong ideas to people. Like Madhuji shared his pain. I felt the pain in him. But if we are giving him wrong ideas, that won't work. Like, okay, if you surrender, your pain will go. No. If you accept, laugh about it. Okay, this is my plan. I want to learn. So the goal is to look inward, go deep inside.
So Rajniji, what you're saying is absolutely right. And what Parmeshwaran sir said, or we said, I think it's a different angle. But one thing you clarified, and I will reinforce what you just said so that the message is clear and is the same, that surrender, you have no expectation, 100%. Surrender means you are ready to lose whatever. That means you are detached yourself. Then only you are okay to lose, and lose means something that is so dear to you. And two different things what I had to work on. 4 out of 2 was similar situation. And when you say, okay, even if you take this thing away from me, no feeling, I am not attached to this anymore, you decide. When you say, okay, universe, totally handed over to you, my case, then your fear, your uncertainty in mind, doubts in mind, all that thing, when it is cleared, it gives you peace inside. And with that peace inside is when you don't feel the pain. So that's what the first statement meaning was. So it is not that you just say, I don't have fear anymore. But when you lose the fear of losing by surrendering, that yes, to the universe, then you really lighten up from inside. So what you also said, that yes, you're ready to lose, you will not question it, and then your real healing starts from inside. Because now you have overcome your basic low-level emotions, which keeps us, the Kam, Krodha, Moh, Maya, greed, and all these things, which one way or the other kind of get stuck us. So absolutely right.
Gaurav sir, I have a question. Like we have been talking about surrender, acceptance, detachment, and everything. When we close our eyes, we are in the meditative state. But when we open our eyes, looking at this physical world, our ego is always at play. Our mind apparatus is always at play. So how do we see what is the role of ego in the soul plan?
So I know you started with
to continue with that question. Every minute second of our life, we are using our free will, the choices that we make. to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning, to have a coffee, not have a coffee, to listen to your lecture, not to listen to your lecture. It's always free will at play. And then there is ego. Transfers with our soul plan. With these two happening. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
See, when we talk of ego, it is part of our human form. Till the time you let your ego make all the decision, then surrendering will be very difficult, because then you are not kind of accepting the higher self as the supreme. You still think you are making everything happen. So that's where the ego comes in between. But if you can let whatever that may be, whether it is in meditation, whether it is your part of affirmation, whether in general you want just peace and, blissful life, whatever the thing may be, for that, if you are ready to surrender, not only for meditation, it's not that I surrender for 1 hour and rest 23 hours. I don't. So for example, it may be a situation where you have a specific thing in mind. Once you've accepted that, yes, I'm in this process, or you have understood the process, and then you want to believe in the process. So belief has to be 24/7. We can't say, very simple meditation. We can't say I will believe in meditation for 1 hour and 23 hours. I will not believe. Yes, you may not be in meditation. That's okay, but that does not mean you are in disbelief for the 23 hours. So that's where you'll have to differentiate. Not doing meditation does not mean you are like in disbelief. Or surrendering does not mean 24 hours I will be in meditation. No. But I trust the process, and obviously I have to follow that, whatever that particular thing you may be working on. Like, for example, suppose you have a terminal illness, okay? And you say, I believe 1 hour, and the 2 hours you say, no, I have a doubt in mind. Oh, I'm doing meditation, but will it work or not? Will it take me out or not? Now it's done, it's zero. So once you surrender, means you have to full trust in it. Trust the process, trust the result. You cannot be in and out all the time. You're either in the room or you're outside the room. That's what typically when we say surrender means. Because when you keep entering and leaving the room, then you're nowhere, neither you're in nor you're out. Say you go to a doctor, you say, I believe you, okay, doctors say something, and then you say, no, I don't want to believe in doctor, I'm going the meditation way. But when you're in meditation, you say, I don't know it will work or not, let me go back to the doctor. So you have to decide. You may go to both, fine. If that is your decision, stick with that. But don't flip-flop. Say if it is a financial matter. So you cannot say, yes, I believe God will fix everything, or universe will fix everything, or whatever it is, and then turn around and say, no, I have to make this decision, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do. And then you keep changing your whole mindset, not the plan, the mindset. If it is a relationship, for example, doesn't matter, it's neighbor, within the house, colleagues, you'll get all kinds of people around you. So that is where once you understand this process, then it's easy to apply in different scenarios. Then it's very easy. Apply it once in one. And obviously, once you surrender, you will see now you know how to deal with your ego very easily. You're not saying it's zero, gone out. No, you have learned to coexist. But surrender means, yes, you have accepted as a higher self, as a universe, and you are whichever way you have decided, and then go with it.
Yeah.
Once you surrender, even if you have the, say, critical illness, whatever, then day to day, you will not feel pain because you have surrendered. Your financial situation, every day, you're not gonna look and cry of it because now you have surrendered. It is not causing you any, because you have accepted it. And whichever way you are working on the surrender, then yes, you continue on that.
Yeah. So one more question is that when you see people suffering, we will think that now we have an idea that it might be there, like in the context, like if they are going through some kind of illness or bedridden condition or some financial issue, we now understand that it might be their soul plan. But as a person interacting with them or surrounding or being around such kind of people, how do we have our sensitivities towards them? We just think that, okay, this is the soul plan, or how do we interact with such kind of sensitivities? What is important of how do we?
It's a great question. Great question. So I will just say one thing. Please be very careful. If the person has no idea about these concepts, don't bombard the person with all kinds of, the meditation, the spirituality and soul plan and pre-birth and everything. The person will just either, say goodbye and, break up the friendship or whatever, but it may not work. Give enough to start the conversation. Let's see if the person is receptive or not. Without that, you bombard all kinds of things. Generally, it doesn't work that way. So start from one thing and let's see if that creates a connection. The person asks for a little more. That is the time when you introduce any concept, but one thing at a time, not with everything all together. It's very difficult. In the very first exposure to these topics, person to understand everything. I mean, the moment people hear meditation, the moment generally people listen first time, I'm saying spirituality, depending on their belief system, they will have some biasness or they may have certain emotions all of a sudden. If you don't know what is that, then we are in dark. So just give one hint, one topic. If the person seems interested, person will let the person pull rather than you push the person, put it this way. Even with your right intention to help, it may not help, it may do the reverse impact. So slowly, because these concepts come slowly, it cannot, if the person is already aware, then it will be easier. Then you can introduce a little easily than if the person has no idea about these topics.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Yeah, Vindhya ma'am, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Vindhya
Yes.
ma'am?
Okay.
Oh, Veena
This is
ma'am.
Veena.
Yeah, please go.
Veena, yeah.
Yeah, please go.
So the way I approach a friend who is in pain is exactly the same way I approach pain. First of all, I count my blessings. What are the good things that are happening to me in my life? I make them realize that there are so many good things that are happening to them in their life. And that sort of initially calms them down. Then personally, I believe that a person who needs to get into meditation or yoga comes from their heart within. I cannot tell them that there is this option they have to follow meditation or yoga. However, I do tell them that when I was in pain, this is what I did. I joined meditation groups, I joined yoga, and it really helped me. So after that, if they ask me for the details on how to join, I give it to them. But 99% of the time, they don't join because they are not ready for it. So we have to be very careful when we introduce these concepts to people. It is their calling. It is their time. It is when they feel they need it, they will ask you, what do you do? What do you do? Do you do something else? And then that's when they're really ready for it. So I think personally, when somebody comes with pain, it lets them count their blessings because they have so many good things in life and they're forgetting that this is the only one pain they have. So that's my approach. Thank you.
Thank you, Veena ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
Veena.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav sir. First of all, very, very beautifully explained all the concepts. These are not easy concepts, but you have put them so straightforward. And there were a lot of discussions before we talked about free will with other soulmates. And it's hard, I know, but your clarification is very well taken. Thank you. And Ravali ma'am, you put the same question that I had, so I'll continue with that. I had almost exactly the same question, but I would put it slightly different. I see how you're giving the answer to help us how to talk to the other person and, you know, explain to them. I will ask from my perspective, how should we not look desensitized to them? You know, I tend to become, because like you said, yes, I understand it is their soul plan, especially someone very close to us, you know, they're suffering. I mean, because of their ignorance or whatever, they are suffering. And it is maybe they ignored it and it has become a big issue now and they are going through it. How do we just say, okay, this is, you know, your soul plan, and stand aside and, you know, that empathy part, how can we just work through? And, you know, I feel uncomfortable when it's someone very close. I would like to help, but again, it's their soul plan and I do understand. Can you help? I think you understood what I'm trying to say.
Yes. So I can tell you, again, I can only share my journey, which to answer your question, once you understand this process, apply, say maybe on one more person. Apply means help. Once you help at least one person, it becomes even more transparent, more clear. Now really all these answers will come automatically. How to approach other person if someone has asked, or if you have kind of seen someone in pain, and you know, sometimes because you have the answer, you want to, you know, tell the other person, hey, this is how it works, this is all that thing. So it doesn't matter which way the situation is, whether someone is asking you or you just identify someone. So then it will be easier. But again, first the person has to be brought into the generalized these topics. If the person is not there, that means the time is still not for the person to understand, appreciate, and follow these things. So this is one general thing. But these things may be more easy to feel than to explain sometimes. So the moment we do this, and that's the reason, like if once you understand all the subtopics of soul plan or pre-birth planning, and what I was mentioning about homework, and that's why like everyone, I only suggest do on their own, because that's the easiest thing, because no one else can work on your thing. Only you know what's inside and what's your life history is. And once you can see it, there is a very simple, easy way. You can see the pattern, you can see the trend. Now you can see what universe is trying to tell you. Without doing any major workshop or anything, you can learn this way. And the best thing is then you can play around with you first, and you can change your life around. Trust me, like I was working on 4 items and 3 was easy, 4th was taking a lot of time. But exactly the surrender, what we have been talking about, that it was the thing I was missing and I didn't realize. Halfway through, I realized, and when the moment I did that, you know, same thing what we just said, surrender with no emotion attached, that, okay, you know, this is the whole thing, take it away. Okay, I give it, like, you know, what worse can happen other than, okay, I lose the whole thing, no detachment, no nothing, and boom, it works beautifully. I mean, there's no words and no limit of what you can expect from the universe. Affirmation, whatever you have, whether it is health, finance, relation, wisdom, anything you want, it comes. But first apply on yourself. First, because directly jumping on someone else, the way I've understood, not easy. It has to go on yourself first.
Yeah, and that said, when I heard about all this soul plan, and it's been a year I'm into this spiritual tablets, and the first time I heard, I actually, I'm not saying it's not all like not possible. I did apply. It's this, my brother who's going through this situation, and it has changed actually. I did apply, and I have understood it is his soul plan, and our relationship has improved a lot more. And whenever I approach him, there's no pain in me, at least when I talk to him about what he's going through. So that is really good. And I see the positive, but I just don't want others to feel like I'm very desensitive to them, like, that I do understand their pain and I think I'm showing it, but it's just maybe my mind is making me think, what if they think that I don't care, that kind of question. But you explained well, and I think it's better to apply on ourselves, and the more we apply, we will learn more. Thank you.
Very welcome. And I'll just say one last thing on this so that it explains everyone why it is so important to apply on yourself. The only person who can help you is you, no one else. What we do is we are trying to change the whole world, but not we ourselves. It won't work. The only person who can change you is you. And if you don't change yourself, that no one else can. So what happens out of emotion, love, caring, compassion? We try to help, oh, my parents, they are old, let me help them. Oh, my neighbor, oh, my family members, oh, this, all good. But once you do to yourself, you will learn that helping does not mean fixing everything for them. You cannot do for others. You can show them the path, you can show them the process, but they have to carry on the process themselves. That is the difference. And that is what you have to do on yourself and understand before you can even share with someone. Because how will you share if you have not done it on yourself? Because it's not A plus A or, mathematical equation that you can explain to someone. It has to come by that feeling. And that is why it is so important. Try. It does not matter whether you have a situation or not. We all have emotions to deal with. Each one of us. This is impossible that you say, I have no emotions to deal with. Because human form, that's why we come to experience emotion. That's why we have. Small or big, doesn't matter. Work it on you. Then so easy to talk about it to anyone. Otherwise, yes, you may be sounding very mechanical kind of thing and it may not work on others. So that's the last thing I wanted to share with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lakshmi ma'am, please go ahead. Let us take this last question.
Thank you, Vardhini ma'am. And thank you, Gaurav sir. Every time I hear you, it's kind of, I am amazed with the same kind of lesson you teach, but the lot of question and answer what you give, it is something which internalizes me every time. I am thankful for that. And today's take away what I had with all these interaction session was, it is like if I have to walk through the woods, okay, initially I may not know how to reach that destination. I take help of Gaurav sir. He holds my right hand. My left hand may be a spiritual tablet which holds. Then my right hand is held by some books like Louis Hay. My left leg is held by some other books. So I walk through this path till I reach my destination. But if I have to walk again through some other destination, maybe this time I may not use my left hand. I can only use 3 hands and take that support and tool to reach that destination. I'll still reach it. The third time I leave one more hand, I may only use my legs to reach that woods. But by that time, I have a faith that I will move with only my 2 legs. I need not have to use my 2 hands. But as I walk through many more, I may end up not using any of these tools, and that internal faith and that internal belief, because I have every time used my experience, then there is a surrender. Even I may close my eyes and walk through that destination and reach there without even my opening my eyes, leave about the tools, leave about the books, leave about the workshops. But initially I may need it, but as I walk through and then believe my own experience, I will even reach without my using my senses. Probably even I will like to close my eyes and reach that destination. Yeah, thank you, sir.
So Rajni ma'am, do you know why this happens? Like as in your statement, the last stage, when with the eyes closed, you can reach there, the last stage. You know why that happens, or what makes it happen, or what makes it possible?
Because the universe is more giving, sir. I need not have to ask for it. And it knows the best way to do it. It's the best way. It gives you best. Yeah, sir. This is Lakshmi, sir. Lakshmi.
I
Thank
know,
you.
Lakshmi, I know. And you got the first part 100% right. So let me tell you the second part, what my answer would have been.
Yes, sir.
Universe, which is the first part. Second part is inside you.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody's help. You don't need anybody's book or support. Initially you, yes, need whether support, book or whatever, to recognize that universe inside you, to recognize and connect with the, once you are connected with that universe, now sky's the limit. You can go anywhere. That is why. So that's what I just wanted to complete your beautiful, step by step, what you were explaining. That is for everyone, not just for you, Lakshmiji. Masters, don't think that whole life you need someone's, hold hand, or no, you don't have to look up to any master. Yes, you need, like I need, or I listen to others. Similarly, we all read, we all listen, because we don't know what we don't know. But universe is inside us. Keep listening, keep gaining the wisdom, but don't forget, universe is inside. Aham Brahmasmi. Acknowledge it, recognize it, and once you make your connection during meditation and during this, you will become better and better human being with compassion, with all kind of true love, oneness. And that's what I meant when I was saying, once you start applying on yourself how to talk to someone, connect to someone, communicate, or approach someone, you will get automatically. The compassion inside you, the true love inside you will make it happen. Don't worry. Connect to the universe inside. That's the most important. So thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav sir, for the wonderful presentation today. Do we have time to do meditation, sir, for 10 minutes? Or...
You think Ashok sir will let me go without it? So 10 minutes, let's do, masters. And we will close our eyes, get ready. And please, wherever you are, if you want any backrest, or whichever way you are comfortable. Let's start with 3 deep breathing. Let's calm down our brain waves. Deep inhale, deep, slow, as comfortable as you. Inhale, exhale 3 times. All right. So masters, let's relax the body as well. Starting from your neck, your shoulders. Please keep your spine straight and hands and legs in a cross position. Now, let's start observing our breath. Your normal, natural, soft breath. Start observing as you inhale and as you exhale. Don't worry about any thoughts you may have during meditation. Please don't pay any attention. Don't spend any energy on them. Just Let them fly away. Fill your heart with gratitude of whatever you think in the last 24 hours happened to you, for which you are grateful to the universe. Feel the gratitude. And start observing your breath. So no more any thoughts or any emotion. Let's start observing and stay with your breath. dear masters. Let's rub our palms together and place the fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly, very slowly open your eyes and come back to your normal self. Take your time. Open your eyes. Come to your normal self.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful presentation today. We are all blessed to have your classes every week. Thank you.
Thank you all, masters.
Thank you, Gaurav sir, for making time and giving great wisdom and your personal experience to us. Thank you to each and every master here. The discussion was very beautiful. There was a lot of exchange of nice wisdom and personal experience. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Gaurav sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashokji, and thanks all for participation. Thank you, masters.
Yeah.